Ladies and gents, welcome back. Parliament is back in session. Your federal representatives are back in their seats, there to passive-aggressively bicker back and forth at one another using the third party known as Mr. Speaker. Now, there's going to be one seat in particular that's going to remain empty for the next foreseeable future anyhow. Well, that's the Prime Minister himself, Justin Trudeau. Trudeau missing as Parliament officially resumes. This is from the Counter Signal. Parliament has finally resumed in Canada, and Justin Trudeau is missing in action while he attends the UN General Assembly in New York. Oh, wow. Okay, so he's a little busy. The guy. After that, he'll travel to Japan to attend the funeral of assassinated Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Again, a little busy for his responsibilities. He's not able to do that. Hot on the heels of the Queen's funeral in London and the UN General Assembly in New York, the Prime Minister will spend the weekend and much of the next week in Japan attending Shinzo Abe's funeral and succeeding in avoiding nearly 2 weeks of question period. Prime Minister attends the funeral of Abe Shinzo. Here's his itinerary from the Prime Minister's office. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau today announced he'll travel to Japan from September 24th to 28th to attend the funeral of former Japanese Prime Minister Abe Shinzo. The Prime Minister will convey Canadians' condolences for the loss of a strong ally and friend and reaffirm Canada's commitment to our partnership with Japan. During his visit, the Prime Minister will also meet with Prime Minister of Japan, Kishida Fumio, to advance shared priorities as Japan prepares to assume the G7 presidency in 2023. The meeting will also reaffirm and strengthen the strategic partnership between Canada and Japan, most notably our joint commitment. Now, Canada's MPs gathered in Parliament today for the first time since they broke for summer in late June. Additionally, it was the first time Pierre Poilievre attended Parliament since he was elected the Conservative Party leader on September 10th in a landslide. Let's not forget that. In Parliament, Poilievre and Liberal Finance Minister, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland sparred over the cost of living increases and inflation. And well, here's a little clip from this. I'm not going to go too long on this because it just gets... it's like nails on a chalkboard at sometimes. And the bickering back and forth is just so passive-aggressive and annoying. But I'll give you a little taste of how things went on the first day back.
I look forward to being able to congratulate more young families on the ability to buy their own homes. Unfortunately, it's nice to be in the house, but it would be nice for them to be in a home. But unfortunately, house prices have doubled under this government's policies. In fact, the share of the average Canadian's paycheck needed to pay the average monthly bill on housing has gone from 32% to 50%. The government's solution to raise paycheck taxes and gas taxes and other taxes. Won't they cancel this tax hike so Canadians can pay their...
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Yeah, lots of new taxes.
Mr. Speaker, we've just heard EI premiums mentioned, and so I want you to guess what EI premiums were in 2015. $1.88. And guess who was the minister in charge? The current Conservative leader. Now guess what EI premiums will be next year? $1.63. That is 25 cents lower. So the leader of the official opposition needs to tell Canadians, was he misguided then, or is he misguided now?
Oh, that was painful to go through. Painful.
Neither, Mr. Speaker. Guess what Canadians paid in 2015 in EI if they earned $60,000 in 2015? $930. Guess what they pay now? $948. That is an increase. Furthermore, if you look at total payroll taxes, they've gone from $3,400 to $4,100 under this government. That's a $700 increase, and the government plans to raise EI premiums. That's the paycheck tax on January 1st, along with other taxes. Why won't they cancel these tax hikes so Canadians can pay their bills?
Okay, so it's a lot of bickering back and forth in a passive-aggressive way, saying, You raised taxes. Well, no, it was more expensive when you were in government. And, well, it's more expensive now. Like, most people can really feel that one. You don't have to really do the math. You could just look at your pocketbook. That's all it takes. But there was an interesting back and forth, and this was a funny one. On the heels of Justin Trudeau being in England, embarrassing himself, singing Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, a clever MP decides to paraphrase the song in his response to Chrystia Freeland here.
Honourable member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Mr. Speaker, is this real life? Because that answer was pure fantasy. We have inflation, landslides, and no escape from poverty. When will the Prime Minister open up his eyes and see he's not a poor boy, but he should have some sympathy? For too many Canadians, opportunity had just begun, and now this government is going to throw it all away. Money is not easy come, easy go in this economy. So when will the government cancel their planned tax increases on gas, home heating, and groceries, and spare us from this inflation monstrosity?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
She's just flabbergasted. She didn't get it. Mr. Speaker. Anyway, I'm going to get out of that. It's too much to handle. But what is some of the rest of the world viewing of the Prime Minister and his dereliction of duty, and basically just his service in general as the Canadian Prime Minister? Well, we have this from England.
Since then, I've realised he's an arch-narcissist, controlling, fascist sociopath. That's enough reasons there.
Just as well he became a politician then, because that's so exactly the qualifications that you need.
Absolutely. The specific reason I'm making him my plank is actually I am doing this on behalf of Canada. There have been 500,000 tweets in the last couple of days, all saying Trudeau must go. Now this has gone viral. It's a great Twitter trend. And what people are doing is saying who they are, what they do, and saying that their views are too extreme for Trudeau and Trudeau must go. They're mainly objecting to the vaccine mandates. You know, Canada's still living in this kind of viral Handmaid's Tale world where you can't go anywhere unless you're vaccinated. Well, they've got all of them, and they're all still completely strict. And so the thing is that he kind of projects this image of being really reasonable and he's popular, but Twitter trends don't tell a lie. And he's got 500,000 tweets from his home country saying he must go.
And maybe we should listen. That's the lesson of the day here. But what is the reality on the ground when it comes to Canada and our taxes? Canada's an outlier among 51 nations that have provided tax relief as inflation surges. This is coming from the True North. Canada remains a global outlier when it comes to providing tax relief for its citizens at a time of surging inflation. The inflation is at the hand of the government. Don't get this mistaken. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon only. Deflation, there are different reasons for deflation, but inflation is a monetary phenomena. According to a new report by the Canadian Taxpayer Federation, 51 other countries, including many belonging to organizations for economic cooperation and development, have introduced tax cuts to help assuage inflationary pressures. While Ottawa sticks Canadians with higher tax bills, other countries are doing the right thing and providing their citizens with a much-needed relief, said CTF Federal Director Franco Terrazzano. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau should follow the lead of other nations and make life a little more affordable by cutting taxes for Canadians. But unfortunately, Trudeau is a little busy right now. He's overseas doing other things other than what is prescribed for him in his duties as Prime Minister. He's, just elsewhere while avoiding question period, avoiding accountability. This seems to be the norm for this government. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think of Justin Trudeau? I'm sure I could guess what you think of Trudeau, but what do you think of Trudeau and his avoidance of accountability by not showing up to Parliament when Parliament is back in session? You can make condolences virtually. They did it for all kinds of other things. There's no reason why he has to personally go to these places, especially when it's so bad for the environment, as he's been telling us. Travel is just terrible for the environment, especially when you're on a plane all by your lonesome. But that's, I digress on that. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I go live every Friday at 6:30 Pacific time, but if you hit that notification bell, you'll know when I do impromptu live streams. I did one last night. It was a lot of fun with Marty up north, and you can go check that out post haste. Go have a look at that live stream. It was about an hour-long conversation. It was a lot of fun. Check that out. We'll see you in the next video. Keep on trucking.